Welcome to AYL. Today we're going to show you why these Rangers are so damn cool. We put front and rear bumpers on this thing from DRT. They're super strong, and we just like the styling of them. I think they add a great look to it.
They really do. They take the Ranger from being kind of basic to kind of that next level.
Kind of gives it a cool off-road sport look to it.
Yep.
So oddly enough, power windows at the push of a button, that's really cool.
It is. Seriously, no more of this feature.
Yeah, no more of that cranking stuff. I like that. We have a display up here. This is the Polaris Ride Command. When you put it in reverse, backup camera comes on. Which
is so handy when you're plowing, especially with areas like we have with trailers and other vehicles out and around.
Yeah, it makes visibility really great. I like that part a lot. Air conditioning and heat at the push of a button right here. You can adjust your your climate control here. This is super nice.
It is, because I like plowing in a t-shirt.
Window pops up out of your way if you want that, if you want to feel the wind in your hair, which we don't have. So these new seats in this new Ranger are bolstered. They got a little more padding in them, and those bolsters make a big difference in the padding. The last couple of years, the seats have been historically pretty bad in these, but this is a lot better. They did a great job with this.
It really, because I was about an hour max that I could sit in one of these because of the way you're positioned in them, the cushions. Like you said, the bolsters were a huge thing. Being able to hold yourself in the seat.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot more comfortable now.
Yep.
2-inch receiver in the back if you want to pull a trailer.
Which does come handy when you're cleaning up the yard. You need to haul leaves off and things.
Yeah, I pull my little trailer around with this thing. It works great.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel that we've sat in the shop here talking about the Ranger enough. How about we hop in these things and go put them to the test up in the snow?
I like that. Let's get them warmed up. Let's go out there and play. While we're doing that, check this out.
I'm Jake. This is Curt with Slikrok Productions, and we're here in the shop, and I want to bring up a conversation with you.
Let's do it.
So you seem to always be building a new Ranger. Let's dive into a little bit about...
That's what my wife says.
Right? You get it from both sides.
Right.
Let's dive into it. Let's figure out why you favor the Ranger platform, highlights of it, kind of how they've evolved over time. Let's just kind of bounce back and forth here.
The Ranger platform is one of my favorite platforms because it's universal.
Okay.
There's utility to it, there's still sport to it, but there's some comfort features. A lot of years ago, we built our first Ranger, and I kind of fell in love with that thing.
Yeah.
This particular model, I decided to build another one because they've had a few new features on them. They went with bigger bolts in the suspension. Historically, they've had 10 millimeter bolts in them. They went to a 12 millimeter bolt.
Which is nice, which is the same as the Turbo S platform.
Right. Yeah. So it's a lot bigger, it's a lot heavier. Because the only issue I've really had with these Rangers over the years is it'll start egging out holes on the suspension because we make them so big and heavy when we work.
Exactly, yeah. When we take them so far, it's nice to actually have Polaris making those changes to keep up so we're not wallowing out holes, bolts and things. So
I like that part of it a lot.
Let's dive in a little bit. Let's talk about what we do to these to make them functional. and how we get them to that point where we're able to use them, follow us on the trails, and the different things.
So ground clearance is the big thing that's number one. You got to get them off the ground.
Okay.
And so you have two options with that. You can do a lift kit, which, as you know, I hate.
Yeah.
I don't like running lift kits because it changes the geometry of the suspension. And really, on independent suspension, the only way if you put a lift kit on it, you're putting a lot more downward force on your A-arms, and so you don't get travel. Your suspension rides really rough, and it changes the axles geometry, the steering geometry, so things wear out prematurely and they break.
Yep.
So we are not big fans of suspension lift kits, but what we are big fans of are portals.
Definitely.
So what you get out of a portal bolts onto the end of your suspension, to your A-arms. It replaces the spindle, and they have a gear reduction. So you get 8 inches wider out of them. You get 4 inches of lift, plus you get gear reduction that offsets the big tires you run.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So the width is a big thing, especially with a vehicle like the Ranger that is so top heavy with the full cabs. When you go 8 inches wider, you get so much more stability on the trail.
Yeah, well, not only stability, you also get a lot more articulation out of it.
Yeah.
And so essentially it's like putting a long travel kit on. Your A-arm is this long, but putting a portal on it's this long.
Right.
So you get more motion out of it. And by getting more motion out of it, you get a better ride quality out of it. They handle a lot better, and they are more stable, like you said, because they're wider. And these are roly-poly. They're like driving a Winnebago when they're stock. I mean, they're pretty rough on you. And so portals are the very first thing that we like to do to them, because we get the width out of it, we get the ground clearance out of it. The next thing is you got to build the car around that. So heavy duty ball joints, heavy duty steering components, heavy duty A-arms. We replace all that stuff. So everything on all these Rangers that we build all comes from Super ATV. We run all their heavy duty stuff. And we've had great luck with them. We put a lot of miles on them. They're good quality products for the price that you pay. And they have lifetime warranty. So we've stayed in that realm for a long time. Once you get the suspension done, then it just comes down to what do you want to do with your Ranger? Do you want to work it? Is it a mountain rig? We like hunting, we like fishing. We also use them for work. Obviously, we plow snow with them.
We daily them.
Yeah, and so the cosmetically, the things that we like to do, we like to live, aftermarket lights when we're out at night. We like to be able to see well. Bumpers, winches, recovery equipment is always a must. You get one of these things stuck, you are not pushing it out. They are, unless you got 10 of your buddies with you.
Serious?
They're a little heavy, so we run winches typically on the front and the back of them so we can grab everything we need.
What size tires are we running?
This one's on 35s.
And the way that we're able to run 35 is, like Curt had mentioned before, the portal gear lift has a 30% reduction.
Right.
So it allows you to get away running the bigger tires.
Right. So ultimately, if you are running a 30% reduction portal, that means this machine is 30% lower gear than factory, which means you can go up 30% in tire, and it offsets that so it performs like a stock machine.
And whenever we do it, we try to, in the Ranger platforms, we try to get that ratio as back to 1-to-1 as possible.
Right.
So it's not robbing power, but you're still getting the more clearance from bigger tires.
Right. Most of our rock cars, we try to go lower gear than factory, sometimes substantially lower.
Yeah.
But one of these, you want to be able to cruise down the road at 65 miles an hour. Where there are dailies, we want them to function like a factory machine.
And when we're working in the shop, we want lunch, and we hop in this and we need to get there.
They're great runner vehicles.
Welcome back. We're up here playing in the Polaris Ranger in the mountains of northern Utah, out here playing in some snow.
This setup is super cool. This is a new plow setup from Super ATV, but this has got a few unique features that most plows don't have. This one obviously goes up and down like everyone else, but they also have extensions that you can put on them, which takes all the strain off the rope, so you're not breaking cables. We've dealt with that over the years.
We have. I mean, there wasn't a time we'd go out and you're running, just because of how much snow. If it's heavy snow, wet snow, you're snapping this cable all the time.
Yeah, so Super ATV makes extensions you can put on them. It takes a lot of the strain off, but the actuator is the really cool thing. So historically on UTV plows, if you want to turn your blade left or turn it right, you got to get out, pull a pin, get in a fight with it, get back in if you're tired and dying. This one's got a hydraulic actuator on it, so it's all push button in the cab. So that's super convenient. So when it's 12 degrees outside and it's snowed 2 feet and you're in your Ranger in your t-shirt and it's just push button control on the inside and it's comfortable.
Yeah, you're sitting in there, you're rocking music, you're in temperature controlled, and you're watching your neighbor across the street pushing a shovel or a snowblower and it's all blowing back on him.
Yeah, wind's
Do
blowing.
you ever feel bad at that point?
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, you go over and you plow your neighbors out because it's just fun. And honestly, I like it when it snows because I like pushing snow now.
Yeah.
I used to dread that. I don't like snowblowers. I don't like shovels. I'm lazy by nature. But this setup, I'll go plow the whole neighborhood. I don't care. It's fun. But I mean, let's be real. They have heaters in them now. They have air conditioners in them now. They have insulated cabs. They have wipers. They have washers. How do you not like that for an off-road vehicle?
Seriously, it's kind of becoming the bougie of off-road here.
Yeah, and so these have proven to be dependable. As you know, I've ran thousands and thousands of miles on these things. My wife uses them for a daily all the time, and we all live here in the mountains, and so we do a lot of riding in the mountains. She takes the dogs out and rides a lot. We go back and forth to town.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the very first Ranger that we built back in the day, it was our chase vehicle.
Yeah.
We completely built it out to carry all our parts, tools, everything we needed for breakdowns on the trail.
Yeah, we used to carry, 8 or 10 axles with us, a lot of spare parts, a lot of tools, because we'd break so much stuff.
Right.
So we built that first Ranger, for two reasons. One, the girls could ride in comfort, have heat or AC,
Yep.
and then we had something to carry all of our parts in to get us back off the trail. This is Porcupine Reservoir, and it's really close to our house, and man, it's only a couple miles away, and it's just kind of pretty. Not a lot of people come up here. It's pretty quiet. Porcupine's been here for a long time. There's a lot of kokanee up in here that they spawn in the fall. It's pretty neat to come up, but it's just a cool area that doesn't get a lot of traction. It's not real well known. It's just kind of a peaceful place. We come up here and run our dogs up here a lot. Just kind of come up and go for evening rides, watch the sun come down on the lake. It's just a really beautiful area. It is sure pretty out here. Super nice.
Yes, it is.
But these Rangers are super fun, So we're gonna keep thrashing on some snow. We're gonna try not to get too stuck. And while we're doing that, check out this next segment.
So as you can see, these rigs have proven quite capable. And not only that, they're a whole lot of fun.
They're a lot of fun. They are capable. And to be out here and come and enjoy this in the wintertime, with climate control, this is why they're our favorite platform.
For sure.
There's just so much versatility. Well, thanks for tuning in, and make sure you check out next week's show. It's going to be a great one.
What a great way to spend the day, right?
This does not suck at all.
No. The only thing that's going to suck is when our wives find out that we came and did this without them.
I'm not telling them nothing,
Your secret's safe with me.
We've been out here enjoying the Rangers, enjoying the weather. We're warm, we're dry, it's super comfortable. The Rangers are awesome. There's no better way to go enjoy the woods than like this. This is super nice, especially in the wintertime. To be comfortable makes everything, and that makes it all better.
It does.
But remember, guys, life's an adventure. Get out there and find yours.
At your leisure.